So I'm back again. Hi! And I was so lucky in my comeback, let me tell you. So the whole time I was in Europe, I was stressed about this one thing, which is PCR COVID test. Because those are very expensive in Poland, and I think in Europe in general, they didn't have a series of lockdowns to make them, 16 kwai. You had 48 hours to do the test, get the result and get on a plane. And 2 days before my flight to China, then decided to scrub the whole thing. So yeah, baby, you don't need a COVID test to go to China anymore. Reverse culture shock. It is something you will experience when you're going back home after being abroad for a very long time. You're basically being amazed at your own culture and surprised at every step, finding yourself unable to perform basic functions and making your family hate you for having to explain basic things such as how to get cash from the ATM. That happens, especially in the post-COVID world. When I left Poland in 2020, it was quite freaking different, okay? One thing that I noticed very quickly is that I cannot talk without cursing extensively. Nothing especially bad had to happen to make me go cool. Day to day, I don't really speak my native language. I have to type it, it's my job, but I don't really speak it. But it is a fact that when you are emotional, you are angry, you are in distress, you tend to switch back to your native language. So for me, my daily use of Polish has been reduced to cursing, especially when riding a bike, because traffic in China is crazy. This, as you can imagine, was a bit problematic when I was sitting at the dinner table with my grandma. I miss my grandma so much already. Say hi to śliwka nałęczowska. It's basically a whole prune dipped in chocolate. It's delicious. Turns out nobody is carrying their phones around in Poland. In China, your phone is your most important possession, and it was even more so during the COVID times. You literally cannot leave home without your phone. You pay with it. You scan the bikes with it. You had your health code on it, which was the code that basically enabled you to go out of your house. You have your cards on it, you have your whole wallet on it, you have your keys on it. Everything is on your phone, okay? So you kind of get used to holding it in your hand because otherwise you would have to pull it out of your bag every 5 minutes. But yeah, nobody does that in Poland, and much less like this. When I was still carrying my phone around, I realized that public bathrooms don't have that little shelf where you put the phone when you're doing your business. Obviously, public bathrooms are a whole other topic because it's not like you have bathrooms everywhere like in China. You have to go to like a train station or a restaurant, and most of the time you have to either pay or buy something to be able to use it, which I also totally forgot about. And I was painfully reminded every step of the way that most things in Europe are for tall people, which I am not. That was especially bad when using public bathrooms because, like, obviously you don't sit on a public toilet. Please tell me you're not sitting on a public toilet. Squatting toilets are so underrated. Cannot witness those in Poland. It's quite sad. I feel like people in Poland generally don't like to carry stuff around in their hands. One day I wanted to get coffee to go, and I had to go to a gas station to get it. In China, it's quite the opposite. It's like they don't want you there. You have restaurants that you can't sit in and coffee places that are purely a hole in a wall. But the thing about Shanghai and about China in general is that you then end up with this cup in your hand and there are no trash cans to be seen. Shanghai is a very clean city, unless you were in a city center on a Friday night. You have sanitation workers cleaning the streets around the clock. It's way cleaner than anywhere in Europe. But you can rarely find a trash can, so people leave their garbage in shared bikes baskets and stuff. I really got used to people cleaning after me in like restaurants and in public places in general. But seriously, if you start cleaning after yourself in McDonald's in China, somebody will come up and rip the trash out of your hands and put it where it belongs because it's their job. They're supposed to fix the trash can thing, by the way. And don't even get me started on bubble tea. What the hell is bubble tea? I figured bubble tea would be the closest thing to Naicha. But then I tried several and they were all horrible. Most of the time there isn't any tea in it. One of them was called the real bubble tea, so I figured if anything it should be that one. But yeah, it was just milk with some sugary syrup dumped on top of still hot tapioca. It tasted like watery yogurt with chewy snot. And the tapioca had absolutely no taste. It was like chewing a car tire and was 40 kwai. What the hell? In China you can get decent Naicha for 10 to 12 kwai. Future here. It dawned on me that it's quite unfair to do my professional Polish complaining without even showing you guys what my expectations were to begin with when it comes to Naicha, because expectations are high, alright? Let me show you what it looks like when you order Naicha in China. So normally when you go to a Naicha store, you can order by the counter, but then you usually also have some kind of QR code that you can scan so that you can avoid the line. So I am using a EDNDM mini program because that's what I could find on WeChat right now, but also because EDNDM is like the most basic Naicha. Here on the left you can see you have different categories. First off, you have just teas. You have your black tea, green tea, oolong tea, matcha, and so on. Then you switch to actual Naicha and you have all those different teas with added milk in different forms. Plain Naicha, which uses Assam tea, milk tea with jasmine tea. Oolong Naicha is my favorite. You can have a Naicha macchiato even. Nobody can stop you. Here's what happens when you actually go through with it. So let's say I'm going to go for regular Naicha. I'm going to add that to my cart, and here you can choose either a medium cup or a big cup. The difference is 3 kwai. Here you choose how much ice you want with it, so you can choose standard, less ice, or no ice at all. It's still cold, but there's no ice in it. Room temperature, slightly warmer and hot. Then you choose how much sugar you want in it, and in some stores you can also choose a sugar substitute. Full sugar in this case would mean as much sugar as they usually put in it, which is very sweet normally. 30% of that, half that, or 70% of that, or not to add sugar at all, which is how I usually prefer it. And then at the very bottom you can choose what kind of stuff you want added to your Naicha. You can see that some of them are free of charge, and I think you can add up to 3 of them, that's right. So for example, I want tapioca, I would like those coconut jellies, and I will add pudding, which is extra 8 kwai. And that's it. And my whole creation is 23 kwai, not 40 kwai for like a cup of milk with sugar. Thank you very much. But keeping your macros in check is so easy in Poland. You can buy protein basically in any shape or form. Dairy is extra cheap. You're vegan? Boom! No need to analyze the ingredients. You have allergies? The package will inform you about anything that could potentially harm you. The shops have whole vegan sections and lactose-free sections and gluten-free sections. It made me so lazy, honestly. Let me get a munch. No meat in this, baby. It's a vegan jerky made out of soy and beetroot. It's so freaking delicious. I could eat a whole pack right now. For the first few days that you are back in your home country, you will be experiencing something that Chinese doctors refer to as 水土不服. It's like a variety of symptoms that you experience when you're switching the climates, and it's much more than just jet lag. So the first time I arrived in China, I was in Hangzhou. I came out of the airport and it was like a slap in the face. It was so humid and so hot. I've never experienced anything like it. And for the first week or so, my throat hurt, my eyes hurt, my head hurt, I couldn't sleep, my hair started falling out. I thought for sure I got some tropical disease, but the doctor was like, and this time I went to Poland. It was so freaking dry. My throat was killing me. I was coughing all the time. My nose was bleeding. My skin broke out. Oh yeah, drink your water, guys. But not in a restaurant, because unlike China, water is not complimentary when you're eating out. But in some cities, it is safe to drink tap water. I just realized that I didn't give a single tip when I was there. Also not a thing in China. And I kept forgetting that the first floor is actually the ground floor, which in China is non-existent. So this is oscypek. Oscypek is a type of goat cheese and it's very salty and delicious. Yeah, baby. So here's the thing about Poland. Shops are closed on Sundays because Sundays are for God and for family. So we don't do shopping on Sundays. I used to hate Sundays when I was a kid, and now I hate them even more. You wake up on a Sunday and you realize your fridge is empty. You're screwed. One time I went shopping with my mom, and it was before Easter, so obviously a lot of people doing emergency shopping for everything they forgot before, because obviously you couldn't do shopping. I was one of those people. Oh, never mind. Lines are super long and everybody is complaining about everything. Complaining is like a Polish national sport. Let's not kid ourselves, it is not football. It doesn't even matter that everybody is a stranger. You will hear people complaining to each other all the time. Dude in the line behind me was complaining about how long the line is, and he was already drunk, but he was still holding like 3 more bottles of vodka. Another guy came in and threw a tantrum because he didn't like the shopping cart, and another lady was complaining to the shopkeeper that everything is so expensive now and if she can do anything about it. But this is like a supermarket, what is she supposed to do about it? And also, she was the only shopkeeper there. And that lady is not paid extra to provide you with life advice. This is not psychotherapy. And I was so sorry that she had to take crap from all of those people. In China, I would say "辛苦你了," and maybe she would feel a little bit better knowing that somebody appreciates what she's doing. But yeah, in Poland, everybody is complaining about everything and it's totally normal. And Polish people will tell you to your face if they don't like you. And they will also be very specific about it. They will tell you exactly what they don't like about you. In China, when somebody wants to engage, they will be like, 老外, hello? 哪个国家的? But in Poland, you're a pretty girl, you should smile more. What are you smiling at? At some point I started pretending that I don't know Polish so that people stop engaging with me. It is much easier now than it was 10 years ago because there are many more foreigners in Poland. And I don't mean the good people of Ukraine because they are basically family. I honestly don't know when Poland became so international. The thing I probably miss most about Poland, after my grandma, is the fact that the drivers have to stop at the pedestrian crossing. If they don't, they have to pay a huge fine. But in China, nothing makes me go like an asshole behind a wheel. If you are lucky, they will slow down just enough so that you can pass centimeters away from their bumper. The only guy who ever stopped for me without the traffic lights was the guy who hit me with his car, but he didn't have much choice because there were cameras. But then again, in Poland, the best you can do for public transportations are those electric scooters. Shared bikes are not so popular. And buses and trams are so much more expensive than I remember. A 15-minute ride will cost you 7 kwai. And for 7 kwai in Shanghai, you can get from one side of the city to the other. But you know what was refreshing? the thrift shops. The ones in Shanghai are like the vintage kind, where you can find the branded jeans and leather jackets. They are used, but they are still very expensive. Meanwhile, in Poland, you can still find the ones that sell used clothes by kilograms. And those are amazing because if you can find something in a second-hand store and it's still perfectly good to wear, then you know that this thing is durable as heck. I barely took any clothes with me to Poland so that I can go to those thrift stores with my sister and buy me some plain black t-shirts. Honestly, some of my best clothes are from thrift shops in Poland. Okay, but the worst thing that I didn't miss about Poland is that nobody can give you the exact amount of time that it takes to do something. It's nearly impossible to plan your day. Oh, you wanna go shopping today? Yeah, sure. What time can you go? I'll drink my tea and we can go. Wanna go out for dinner? Ah, yeah, sure, let's go. Are you ready to go now or? Ah, yeah, maybe when I'm done with my paper. Wait, what paper? Hello? Man, I'm so excited about this movie. Let's go. Ah, yeah. Yeah, let me just wash my windows. Long story short, everybody just expects you to magically know how long those things take. Phrases like in a moment, in a bit, or in a while apparently are understandable by everyone, but in a second, in a minute, or I'll be there in 10 doesn't mean what you think it means. But yeah, I'm fully planning to go back for Christmas. The food is going to be amazing.